Good morning. Happy Monday. How is everybody? Just want to make sure that I am live. Man, y'all, this energy is so good, but oh my Lord, big, 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 big. So much stuff to talk about going on right now. So just want to make sure I am where where I said I was going to be. I have my little headphone thingies in because it is so gorgeous today here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I am. Um, it's gonna be 75. It's gonna be sunny. It's like our 2 days in a row of spring just after the equinox, and then it just goes to shit for like a week. Because we were all excited. There's this great little restaurant that's right on the water that is seasonal, and it opened yesterday, and it was too chilly. And then, you know, um, the man has commitments and stuff tonight, so we were gonna go on Friday, and then the weather hopefully maybe will shift. So let's all intend together that we will have 70 and sun on Friday. But anyways, I digress. Happy Monday. Welcome to the week. Holy crap. Full moon in Virgo on Friday of last week. Lots of integration. As you can tell, I'm still kind of in the process of dealing with the energies myself. So if you are feeling like you came in on Friday, right? Big full moon, Virgo processing integration. So think of it this way. We had a ton of lessons that kind of warp speeded us through the last 2 years, but really kind of culminating in that December solstice, winter solstice to January timeframe. And then all of a sudden it was like we felt like ready to go. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, what's going on? And then you had some more lessons that came through, which you were invited to participate in. And if you did, great. If you didn't, well, there's always next time. But the thing is, I think most of you watching did. There was a lot of shit unraveling. And I know for my folks in the manifesting mentorship, the shadow work that is going on right now is insanely awesome. And the courage and the amazing unfoldings that are happening because of that are so just insane that if you guys out there that are watching that are unfolding in similar shadow dancing kind of stuff, it's going to power up right like the next couple of days and then into let's see. I gotta look at my thing here because I feel like this whole week is going to be a little bit nuts because we got water stuff, then we got fire stuff, and then we got get to work stuff. So what'll happen basically is right now we're kind of second guessing some things because you get through the Virgo stuff, which is Virgo is my jam. It is my sweet spot. I just allowed lots of flow, much to the man's dismay, had my meltdown, released a ton of stuff. So if you had a similar meltdown this past week, or this past couple of days over the weekend, releasing and crying and being like, why am I even crying? Why am I giggling? Why am I sneezing like crazy? That's what was going on, so that you could kind of on the energetic level take all the stuff you learned since the solstice in winter and sort through it, because wisdom is like when we kind of integrate what went down. And so Virgos is a great sign to do that in. So because it gives you the space to like kind of declutter, organize, give it away to Goodwill, throw it out in the trash, or keep and maybe be crafty with something to make it better, or be like, oh, I totally forgot that I had this. Totally useful. So glad I don't need to buy a new one, kind of a thing. And you can do all that during the weekend. And then this new energy that kind of came in was very like, you have your to-do list, you have all the stuff sorted, everything is cool, and you have these great ideas. And then all of a sudden in comes Scorpio, yeah, Scorpio energy. And it's like, I'm just going to make you second guess everything. So if you are feeling like all these great ideas that we had like on Friday, Saturday, halfway maybe Sunday morning. Well, actually, really just kind of through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then all of a sudden, like Sunday came and you're just like, or Saturday evening even, and you were just like, what am I doing? This is just crazy. I can't do all this stuff that I have these great, like one, you were flying high on Friday and by Saturday night, it was like, what the hell's going on? So that's kind of the way this is going to flow until maybe tomorrow. Then we'll have some fire. So we'll get some, like, a light kind of lit up under us, and then get, back into get to work mode by the end of the week. So this is temporary. Don't worry. So if you're feeling kind of like oogie, allow it to, that's part of the releasing process. When you release this kind of stuff, it's normal to have that kind of crazy, um, creative idea generation energy after the sorting, and then having insecurity about the how, because that's part of manifesting. I don't know if you know this, but, well, you probably do. But usually everybody talks about, oh, ask, believe, receive. There's no talk about inspired action. There's no talk about the fear, then the shadow that comes up. There's no talk about any of that stuff in most things. So you are currently in the navigate the shadow process, which, allow it to be. Don't suppress fear. Don't suppress insecurity. Let them be your friend. Let them be your guide. Let them be who it is that needs to speak to you, because fear, really, understand that, everybody wants to, squish fear, cut out fear, cut away all this thing. Like, yeah, I refer to it as your itty bitty shitty committee because that's usually how it shows up. But if you can sit with the committee, you can listen to them, and you can listen to them without an eye roll, without, um, fear of what they're going to call you, or just sitting there and saying, you know what, I'm going to listen with an open heart. I'm going to listen. What do you need to tell me? Because the reason your fear shows up is really to protect you from being hurt. It's other people's shit that protects you from being hurt. But if you can listen to it and say, okay, what does that mean that I need to support myself? What do I need to do to nurture myself so that this all softens up? That's what's going on right now. Listening to the intelligent message of the fear or the irritation that comes after you have the good idea party, so that you can say, okay, I might not need to know the how, but I sure as hell need to understand why I'm talking myself out of this right now. Is it because I'm afraid? And if so, let's kind of conversate around that compassionately and curiously. If it's because I had a good idea while I was drinking too much soda or wine, maybe I do need to revisit that and see what's going on. But most of the time, if you have divine inspiration that gives you an idea to guide you either in your business, your life, your relationships, and all that kind of stuff, you might want to listen instead about what's going on with the how, because sometimes the how will be like, do I do this now or do I do this later? And you get your answer. But if we start digging into the how from all of the negative, low vibrational what ifs, like what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Instead of the hows that are high vibrational, which is what if it goes right? What if everything I want comes true? And that kind of stuff gets scary too, because it's fear of sex, fear of success, fear of failure, all that kind of stuff comes up around this. That's why right now you're being invited not to try and figure it out, not to try and plan because you are in a water moon. No more. Like, you're gonna just be splashing around, getting tired, not going anywhere. If maybe you just, float around like you in the Dead Sea. Float around like the water is there to let you just be. Like if you went to a float place where you just be in the water, you just be. And you allow it without any fear, without splashing, to carry you, to float you. Maybe you got a pool noodle with you, whatever. Okay. This is the invitation to dance with the shadow for a little bit and not to be afraid of it. Sit in the cave, figure out, why am I in here? What do you guys need to tell me? Because here's the thing, you gonna sit in the cave over and over and over again in the same shit until you say, you know what? I'm done looking at this, trying to get rid of it and suppress it. I'm gonna dance. Let's do this dance and let's be done with it. And that way I can move to a new cave and maybe redecorate this one. Okay. So dancing with the shadow right now will help you navigate what's to come. So the fire energy is like light a fire under your ass and like get some things brewing. And then the worker energy of Capricorn at the end of the week is coming. Okay. So when we do this kind of stuff, what I want you to understand is it is totally okay to dance with your shadow. Most people tell you, how do we dissolve blocks? How do we get rid of shadow? How do we? Ego is bad. No, it's all you. You chose to be here. You chose this life. You chose as source energy to manifest as who you are into this glorious opportunity. Do I always think that way? No, but I got to remind myself through gritted teeth, you chose to be here. And when we choose to be here, that means we get to do the good and the bad. It's like Marilyn Monroe said, you don't get to hang out with me unless you are here for the good and the bad. If you're not here in the good times, you're not going to get to be, or if you're not here in the bad times supporting me, you're not going to get to have the good times with me. It's the same thing with yourself, your higher being, the path in which you want to be on that is manifesting dreams. If instead of thinking about, well, I'm going to try and attract what I want versus I attract who I am, if I can get to being the person who is the vision of that which I want, then I attract what I want, period. No fuss, no muss, no resistance. So start now. Start today. You got the moon on your side to dance with your shadow. Okay? So what that means is we got to look within. So when you think about those great ideas you had like Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday morning, and then you started second guessing Saturday night on into today. Why? Why am I second guessing that? What happened? What is the core of my self-doubt? What is the core of why I'm trying to talk myself out of it by going about trying to write out all the hows that I can't do? Instead, say, what if I did do this? And if they're like, well, what if you didn't? Well, what if I did? Maybe journal it out. What would my life look like if I did all the things that I had the thoughts about on Friday? What if all that came to fruition and was awesome? And then ask your fear, what are you protecting? What are you striving to protect me from? You might have something pop out of your mouth or out of your brain onto the page that's like, oh shit, I did not know that was in there. Okay, but that's a truth. That's what happens sometimes. So that's your opportunity right now. Okay. And then all of a sudden, you'll just get a match lit under your ass like in the middle of the week and into the end of the week. It's gonna just be like chipping away, working the workhorse. It's all gonna be fine. But this first navigation is where you do the work that allows the other to flow so much more um, with ease and grace versus feeling like you're trying to paddle uphill against something and having those thoughts about, well, the universe must not want me to have it. Bullshit. You don't want you to have it. That's what you got to get past today so you can have it later. Okay. So, what do we need to do? What do we need to know? Let's ask our little cards. What do we need to know to support dancing with our shadow and moving through the cave and coming out on the other side? Good morning, Mary Jo. I just saw your comment. Lot going on. So many people and I were affected. Girl, not just, yeah, so many people and you, everybody on the planet, everybody. Did you notice? Like, just watch the news or don't watch the news. It's a shit show. Hence, seeing everybody on the planet affected doesn't really help. You can't change what's on the news. So, just kind of like check in once a week. Maybe read it so you don't have all the pictures. Anyway, what do we need to know to support us as we do our shadow dance this week? Nobody popping. Oh, here we go. Mm. Yes, I did. Hey, girlfriend. Okay, we're doing what do we know? For those who are joining, what do we know, or what do we need to know to dance with our shadow to answer the invitation to dance with our shadows this week and heal from them? Yes, of course. This is so funny. Mm-hmm. The cards don't lie. You guys, they just don't. Okay. Mm. Yep. Okay, so our answer is upside down hawk, which it's so funny. We have two hawks that live in our neighborhood, and I saw them last week flying around with a neighbor of mine. It's really interesting. Well, first of all, upside down cards for those who are watching that are new. And by the way, I didn't even introduce myself. I just jumped in. Hi, I'm Soul Coach Michelle after all of that. Soul Coach Michelle. I am your manifesting coach and friendly neighborhood super woo. And I am want to welcome you to the channel, the Soul Coach Studio channel, where we talk all things manifesting and intuition. So, today we're talking, since we're kind of at that midpoint, we're talking about dancing with shadow this week. The energy this week has been so like, you know, warp speed transition or transcendence. And now we're kind of adjusting to that in the whole like shadow dance. So this week is about shadow dance and then kind of moving out of that. So first things first, how do we navigate the shadow dancing in a way that is supportive of our energy? Remember, upside down card is not, oh shit, life is over. Ah, this is not like the tower. Okay. This is upside down means I didn't know. Um, I didn't know that. I forgot that I knew that, or I know, but I don't wanna. So I think this is an I know, but I don't wanna. So, or I know rather what spirit is telling me is I know, but I am afraid. Okay. So hawk spirit comes in, let spirit be your guide. Now, when you think about a hawk, they fly around and they see everything from that great viewpoint up high in the sky. And the way that I like to say this is say like source energy or God, whatever your thing is, um, has the view of the hawk. Okay. So if you were going to put it in terms of what we understand, when you have a record album, because vinyl's all hip again. So when you have a record album and you put it on the record player, okay, your eyes are like source energy, looking down, seeing all the grooves, seeing where the songs all begin and end, where they navigate through the lyrics and the music, through the song, all the way to the center where the label is, right? And the needle is you in your human form. You are only present in the moment at which you stand. So you don't see everything else. You only see where you are. So your viewpoint is from where you are versus where source is, which is above and sees everything, sees your whole, where you're going, the choices you make, and how that shifts on the path, and what songs and words are coming up for you. Okay. And we kind of forget that we are here co-creating. Manifesting is called co-creation for a reason. You ain't in it alone and you don't do it in a vacuum. You are co-creating your journey and the journey of those around you with source energy. There's collective macro influence, there is micro internal influence, there's connection with source influence, and this is all done in co-creation. So remembering that you have the opportunity to tap into that God energy, to understand and have faith in the fact that there is something bigger than you, that you are part of, that you are one with, that is guiding you. So you're not just in control on your own. You're just having to say yes and show up. That's all you need. And right now, as we do this dance of shadow, it's saying yes and showing up. Nobody likes to do shadow work because it's not fun. It wasn't fun getting that part of your shadow, and it sure as hell ain't fun navigating the healing of that shadow. But I'm promise you, when you do it, you're gonna look back and go, "Thank you, Jesus, I did that because I feel so much better and I can move on. My onion peel can come off, and I can move on." And I do it all holding the hands of source energy because that's what's got me. And being upside down means I forgot that it was there for me. And or I know it's there and I'm afraid because my faith is not as strong as what's coming out of my mouth about it. So maybe get your words and your heart embodied into faith, and that will be the answer of doing the shadow work. Now, as a helper, the two things that will help you do this is an understanding of your worth, knowing your worth. I love little skunk spirit. It is just so funny. I love that they have her on a flower. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Mm. Spring allergies, my darlings. Okay. Skunk spirit is know your worth. So when you know your worth and you are certain in your gut, in your solar plexus of your worth, you know you are part of the divine source energy. You are one with, you are an extension of it. So therefore, it is there for you always. So if you know your worth and you know that you are loved on a divine level, then you know that Hawk is there for you. No source is there for you. So this is why this is helping. So get in connection with your worth. Last thing, wasp spirit. Wasp spirit says sometimes life stings. So since we're talking about shadow, things may come up that are stingy. that are hurt. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's almost like our traumas or pains of life, we try to bury them because they do hurt. That's a coping mechanism. But coping is only supposed to last to get you through the immediacy of that trauma. It's not supposed to be there forever. Coping gets you to where you can heal, not gets you through the rest of your life. Because if you notice, when you say, oh, that's how I'm coping, that doesn't mean that it's healed. It means you're trying to figure out how to forget it versus trying to heal it so you can integrate the wisdom from it. So understand that yes, life will sting sometimes. It does for everyone. You are not alone. And then bringing in the understanding of know your worth. Know your worth. It may sting, but the fact is somebody didn't know your worth. And that's why they stung you. And then you believed what they told you when they stung you. So if we can get back to knowing our worth, we reconnect with source, everything is centered, and we can dance with that shadow in a healing way instead of a coping way. Okay, that's today's message. Let's see. I have one question. Mary Jo. Oh, I love this question. Why is it so easy? I'm going to put it up here. Can I do that? Oh, Mary Jo. There you go. Why is it so easy to forget source is there for us? Mm, because you're programmed. We have been programmed since the dawn of time. And I don't mean we need to stick to and cling to our religion. We need to cling to our relationship with source or God. Religion doesn't teach us relationship. Religion teaches us that God is separate from us when the opposite is true. If we go back to the understanding, know that what is it? Be still and know that I am here. Mm? That's the crux. Be still and hear me. Know that I am here because we are all one. And then the thing is, we are programmed to go and do, to be busy, to think we have to carry everything on our own. The Christ consciousness has nothing to do with being busy or, um, you know, this whole idea of good or bad. The Christ consciousness is love. That's it. Fear is an illusion. Love is all that's real. But if people are controlled by fear, then we teach that if you do bad things, you don't get a Christmas present. If you do bad things, you go to the HE double hockey sticks. If you do bad things, or other people won't like you. And then that do bad things concept sometimes is equated to if you are who you are, that's bad. But the thing is, God doesn't make junk. So, unless there's like a twitch in your humanness, I mean, that really is clinical, that's different. But all of us have been created as extensions of source energy, every single one of us. And to say that we are separate from creates the hell that I personally believe. When people say, there's this idea of it being fiery and brimstony and all this business. But to me, the separation in your relationship with that source energy or God or the universe, whatever you call that, that to me is the hell, not this other. And it has nothing to do with good or bad. Emotions are emotions. You are allowed to be angry when someone hurts you. You are allowed to be upset and feel sad. Happiness and joy and ecstasy are not the only allowable emotions. Okay. We're programmed so much that we have to manage ourselves based on other people's expectations that we forget that love being the only true thing and source energy being 100% love is what's there for us because we're told it's from such a young age on every level, whether it's in religious things or school or whatever. You're supposed to do this on your own. It's strong to be on your own, and vulnerability when asking for help is weak. This is why mental health has challenges. This is why people don't feel like they're enough, is because we are so programmed. Up until recently, it's there's kind of a conflict you can feel going on between the whole movement of um, vulnerability being a positive versus vulnerability being a negative. Now that all that is your patriarchal Piscean energy leaving and the Aquarian energy coming in that'll complete in about another like century. But aren't we lucky to live in this time? But that said, navigating that energy, if we can remember to go back and say, you know what? I am not in this alone. I am loved. And taking your right hand, putting it over your heart, and telling yourself, we are here. We are here, meaning me and source energy are one as we are. Nobody teaches that on the onset. That's relatively new business right there. Understanding the law of oneness and the universal laws. That it is the Trinity, but the Trinity of self, meaning ego, individualization, not bad, just me, the higher self, which is that spiritual essence of you. When we think about Plato's allegory of the cave, it would be your perfection, soul, love based energy image in the cave that ended up being you manifesting in the material 3D world. And then your umbilical cord all the way back to the source energy that created you, that you are an extension of. That isn't really taught. That's why. So, how do we remember that source is on our side? That we have access to that? It's really creating a practice around it. I always say, and I always come back to meditation, and people just get irritated because they're like, I don't have time. And I'm like, well, if you got time to Netflix, if you got time to Facebook, if you got time to, have a glass of wine after dinner or with dinner and then more later or after work or whatever, you have time to dawdle your time away doing things that numb you out. You have time to remind yourself that you have 5 minutes to meditate. You got 24 hours, time whatever 60 is, because I'm not good at the math. You do the math. Minus out whatever 8 hours is for sleeping, and whatever you got left, take out 5 minutes to meditate. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, we are taught having a relationship with God or source energy has to be dictated through other people. And if you are an extension of source energy, that makes absolutely no fucking sense. Because if you're in relationship with your partner, would it make any sense to foster that relationship by having a third party involved? No. I mean, unless you're one of those polyamorous people, and that's not what I'm talking about. And in that case, that's a whole other discussion. And it's totally okay. But even in that case, would you have a third party who is not a party to the relationship, whether you are polyamorous or monogamous? Would you have a third party in there dictating how you relate to each other? No. No, even when Princess Diana was talking about her relationship with Charles and the whole Camilla business, she even said there was a third person in this relationship that wasn't invited, and I am not, and it's not really good for the relationship. Because when you have somebody dictating how you interact and how you choose, then your relationship is not authentic. So, how do we do this? Meditation is where you get to that, your meat suit has certain vibrations. And it's like alpha, beta, theta, all that business. I want to say it's theta. I'm not sure. I have to look it up off the top of my head. But when you are in certain meditative phases, you are in certain frequencies that connect you into that source energy that is you. And you need to foster, just like you foster relationship with your partner or partners, when you foster relationship with your children, with your friends, with your upline in your family, with your downline in your family, with your business colleagues. You have to foster relationships to build them and to strengthen them. And so, if you can get to the mindset of a third party, I mean, if you go to church, great. And you think to yourself, this fosters my relationship with God or my higher self or source energy, awesome. But if you need to do it on your own, also awesome. I personally believe doing meditation on your own on a daily basis for at least 5 minutes is the best way to foster that relationship because it gives you that time to be silent. Because prayer is asking, meditation is listening. If you want to learn how to listen to source energy, that's the best way to do it because awareness is where your choices happen. So if you can slow down your mind, start listening for the input from the wise part of your relationship with source energy, and then make your choices and choosing to be aware. And the awareness comes when you meditate so closely and so religiously, pardon the pun, that the awareness is automatic. That when you do have hard times, like right now, where we're dancing with the shadow and this energy, you immediately say to yourself, duh, source is there for me. I can give this up to them, and we can all kind of go on with our happy life. Or maybe I'm going to go sit on my meditation. Don't you love that meditation pillow, by the way? Can I get that in there? My friend Jenna made that for me. It's kind of squishy because I sat on it this morning. It has little meditating avocados, and it says, I think on the rim, on the binding, it says "Namaste, bitches." I should do a video on that because she's amazing. Anyway, but when you do the meditation isn't for mindfulness. I know that's like the trendy thing, and yeah, that's what happens. But in manifesting, in relationship with spirit and source, awareness is key. Everything is awareness, every effing thing. Because when you're aware and you're present, you can make choices. When you are not aware and you're not present, you wander around thinking you got to do everything on your own. But when you are aware and present, you know you're not alone. You can choose to not buy into the programming and change your programming to whatever it is you want it to be. And in this case, it might be I want to choose to plug into source energy so that I feel good and I know I got some really awesome peeps in my corner as I navigate this shadow this week and in general. So that was a long-winded answer to a very short question, which is why I always take a little extra time. And I'm not too bad over. I'm only 2 minutes over. So, anyways, this week was all about navigating the shadow dancing energy that's happening so that you can move into the next part of the week with ease, grace, and a healed or a piece of you healed so that here's my trigger. It's a little less. I can move through and get my work done kind of thing. Now, I will be announcing soon that my April workshop or workshops. I keep not, it's waffling around if I'm supposed to do one or two. So we will see, and I will announce that. Number two, make sure you check out if you're on YouTube, the blurby thing down here with all the links for my free manifesting class. That is a dripped course into your email. And then also the link for the email list, which is the first place you get to find out about all kinds of stuff. And you get this replay right into your inbox, so you never miss anything. And then when those workshops come up and my self-paced classes that I launched, there's a link to the school. There's, I think, 2 master classes and 2 courses that I have up there right now. And so they are on my slate to do. That was the first bunch. Probably end of next quarter, there will be more. We will see. But other than that, I think that's it for this week. Dance with your shadow lovingly like you are ballroom dancing on Dancing with the Stars, and come out the other side. Give yourself a pat on the back, a big hug. Know that source, the universe, and I have your back through all of this. And if you need me, you know where to find me. I am on Facebook. I am on YouTube. You can post below or above, wherever you're at. You can send me a private message. If you are interested in learning more about the Manifesting Mentorship I mentioned at the top of the video, I will be opening up slots in April and May, and not sure how many I'll have. We'll have to see. But right now, if you want to talk about that, let me know. Other than that, have a wonderful week. I love y'all so freaking much. And just dance with that shadow. I am holding space for you in love and healing, and I will see you next Monday. Other than that, go forth and manifest some dreams. Be the stuff that you want. I love you. Bye, y'all.